All right, it's now time to talk some football as we jet to Europe to discuss the UEFA Champions League. Well, fresh from a Copa del Rey victory over arch rivals Real Madrid at the weekend, the high-flying Barcelona welcomed the reigning Serie A champions Inter Milan to the Barcelona Olympic Stadium for their first leg semi-final clash. Well, here's how it all played out.
They've won 3 away games in the Champions League in a row for the first time. 5 of their last 7 Champions League knockout stage away games have been won. Out by Barella. And this is their first attack with Dumfries, who would love to get forward, of course. And out it goes by the dependable Jules Koundé, who's started every Champions League game this season for Barcelona. Giroud with the flick. Inter have scored in 30 seconds. What a start for the Italian side.
He's been in great form at times this season. There's the first cross. Koundé doesn't quite, well, gets enough of distance on it. They recycle it. Next ball comes in. What a finish that is.
Argentine international World Cup winner. Get away from his man. It's 2-0. It's a brilliant effort again. And this time it comes from the fullback, Denzel Dumfries.
And from that moment on, there's always going to be trouble. Here it is. Acerbi wins the first one.
Frenkie de Jong. Koundé, that's a rarity. They got their wires crossed. Yamal wriggling his way through. Oh, it's simply sensational.
When he picks up the ball, there's so many players in front of him. There's a slight mix-up, as you mentioned, with Koundé. He turns the first challenge to goes past Mkhitaryan too easily here. Acerbi's the next player, actually.
Kubasi. Yamal. Brilliant. Sensational. Off the bar. This is a wonder kid. Oh, Kubasi. Pedri with a chip in this. They're set up from Rafinha. It's a brilliant goal. 2-2, Ferran Torres.
Look at this pass here from Pedri. Rafinha just pulls off the back of Bisek. The run there of Ferran Torres, the header.
Chirolio with the corner kick. Curled away. Keeper Kane didn't get there. Dumfries. Into lead again.
Post. Dumfries, good athlete. It's a good run on it. And then beats, not on this occasion by the looks of it.
Olmo will take it. Yamal steps over it. It's a great hit. What a goal that is. Rafinha. It's a game that simply keeps giving.
And he produces again, Rafinha. There it is, the little over. What is he, 30 yards out? Hits it with power.
There's a quick release on there to Jeremy Dumfries. Wants it played forward. Might get it here now from Bisek. It's a great pace on the pass. It's a lovely crossing, inviting. They're in again here. They've scored again here. Oh, the flag is up. It won't count. Sure, it'll be Rafinha from here. It is. It's under the wall. Somewhere ready. We fancy them to score there. Here's Rafinha. Might score here, and that's someone with a splendid save to keep it at 3-3.
All right, here to review the game and further proclaim his love for Lord Taro Martinez is our South American football correspondent, Juan Giarango, who joins us via Zoom. Juan, what's that about?
What's what about? I mean, my compliments of Lautaro Martinez aren't going to make him feel any better right now because of his injury. We'll see if he's able to come back for next round, but he ends up not being much of a factor for obvious reasons, but obviously his partner, Marcos Thuram, was, because he ended up making history, the fastest goal in Champions League semifinal history. And still, if I say all of that, and I even say, hey, by the way, Barcelona played one of their best games of the season, you would have never imagined it would end up 3-3.
No, not at all, because I just want to start my questioning by saying, first of all, making this statement that I find the result is not a true representation of how Barcelona played, because throughout the entire game, after that first goal, I'm going to give the first goal to Inter Milan, but after that, Juan Giarango, Barcelona was on, and they were on throughout the entire match. So for me, to see these other 2 goals, you know, I just feel like it just happened in areas where they just slipped up for a couple seconds, if so much. But Lamine Yamal, brilliant stuff today, and he was so active throughout the entire match. And, you know, I saw a post where they said Lamine, of course, the future, because we have to remember, this is just a kid. He's 17 years old, but he's also the future. And you know what? After today again, he reminded us that the future looks so bright.
Yeah, and I mean, in your words and whatever I would have said during the studio portion of our Champions League coverage ends up being overshadowed by what Simone Inzaghi says. He basically said, I haven't seen a player in the last 9 years as good as Lamine Yamal. So, I mean, that, you start saying, wait a second, Simone, what are you talking about? But he showed a lot of qualities of some of the greats today. And not only getting the ball, not only scoring, not only helping out his team, but saying, hey, give me the ball. I want the ball. I want to create. Federico De Marco is going to see him in his nightmares tonight, and basically every other defender for Inter, because he was that much of a difference maker. As soon as he said, give me the ball, Barcelona went from going down 2-0 to equalizing 2-2 and maybe even more, because keep in mind, probably the best goal he could have had is the one that he ends up missing because Jan Sommer ends up hitting it with his fingertips and hitting the crossbar.
Yeah, and is it fair to say, Juan, that we've been watching Lamine Yamal mature throughout this season? Because the little Lamine that I saw playing at the start of the season is now a leader in his own right. And I think what you just said about give me the ball is a perfect example of that, because he doesn't only ask for the ball, he delivers.
Yeah, that too. I mean, let's not get too much into just Lamine Yamal and only Lamine Yamal, although today there's a lot to talk about Lamine Yamal. I mean, today you had on the pitch simultaneously, you had a 17-year-old, you had an 18-year-old in Pau Cubarsí, and you also had a 20-year-old in Pedri, who ends up assisting on Ferran Torres' goal. So you start looking at what Barca have for the future, it ends up being bright. And people are saying, well, and you see that on social media. I was watching it a lot post-game shows saying Lamine Yamal was better than Messi at 17, was better than Cristiano Ronaldo. You start saying yes, but it kind of ends up being an unfair comparison too, because of how young he is and at the stage of his career everyone else was. So we still don't know where to kind of caddy corner him, and it's kind of a habit that we have in order to better appreciate or better understand the greatness that he's offering right now.
Yeah, and you spoke about that Ferran Torres team goal, and I think that really describes what has been happening within this Barcelona squad, because we've watched them play in La Liga, we've seen them in Copa del Rey, we watched them in the Champions League, and one of the things, that, you know, Barcelona has been able to do is control their narrative this season. It's something that they've been able to do, and I say that with their performances, because so much is happening behind the scenes with Barcelona when it comes to their continuous financial issues and all these different things, but they must be commended for being able to control the narrative on the pitch.
Yes, because knowing how, let me look for the right word right now, because how poisonous media in Spain can be. It's a reason for a team to start hearing the different narratives that are being surrounded or created around them, that it could end up destroying or causing a lot of problems in a dressing room. And they haven't allowed that to happen. And today was a perfect day for that to happen, because they were losing 2-0. It could have been much worse. You could have said, oh, Barcelona's already collapsing, end of the season. Oh, you're starting to see the injuries come through. Koundé ends up leaving early. You end up, it was priming for that, but they were able to A, maintain their composure, and B, also stay faithful to their style of play and their DNA in terms of football. Because you do have that good mix of youngsters that are very insolent and rebellious to a certain extent, but you also have leaders that are a little bit more advanced and understand that they too want to be able to have a little bit of glory with this team.
Yeah, quickly before you go, Juan, I just wanted to say a couple of things, because I agree with all of the praises lavished on Lamine because of how well he's playing. And as an offensive player, I quite like how much energy he has in tackling for the ball, trying to win balls. A lot of players who are offensive in their duty on the field don't show a lot of desire to fight and tackle and so on. And I am seeing that from him, so I like that. Quickly though, which was the best goal today? Because we saw some goals today that were really brilliant. Which is your pick for the best goal today?
Oh, come on, come on! What kind of a question is that? I mean, you're leaving.
Are you going to answer it or not?
I mean, if you put a gun to my head, I'm going to have to say maybe it's a tie between Lamin's goal and Marcos Thuram.
Okay.
I mean, the finish for Thuram is brilliant.
Well,
I mean,
for you to have a tie tells you that the question was a question that needed to be asked.
I mean, the one I feel for worse than Rafinha. I mean, the bomb that he hits from outside, it ends up hitting the crossbar, going off of the back of Jan Sommer. If that one goes in, then, well, it ends up being even more complicated. But unfortunately, it ends up being ruled as an own goal.
Yeah, Ricardo thinks Thuram's goal was the best of the day, don't you, Ricardo?
I have no problem with that. I would agree, and that's why mine's a tie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one, I'm not going to give you, Lance and Ricardo, any more chance to discuss this goal. I think all the goals today were brilliant. I love when a match has a lot of goals. We head into the second leg, Juan Arango, with all...
I can't say all 6, though. That would have been a cop-out.
Yeah, but we have a lot to play for in the second leg of the Champions League, and that's why this competition is one of my absolute favorites. We look forward to chatting with you again really soon, and thank you for stopping by.
All right, guys, take care.
Yeah, Juan Arango there, of course, our football correspondent, and he was on Champions League duty with our SportsMax team earlier today. Up on a break, we'll be right back.